Okay, so this is a suggestion that maybe it's really a machlekes if we say roiv by sheikhlim, that they should be good without us knowing anything. And if that's the case, if there's a machlekes here, then this takes us back to the first din of Reb Nachman. It messes up a lot of things. But Reb Nachman said in the name of Rav that if a person watches the shechita from beginning to end, we have to decide what was that case over there. He says if he watched the whole thing, then it's mutter. If he didn't watch the whole thing, then it's not good. We said, what's the case? If it's, do we know that he knows how to shech, or does he not know how to shech? Does he not know the halachas? We said even if he doesn't know the halachas, but even if we don't know, it still should be good. And now it turns out that lav dafka, maybe it's a machlekes if it's good. It's a machlekes tanaim. Amar Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak. Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak says this is not Rav Nachman. Rav Nachman was earlier. Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak is later. Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak says, "Loi the kuli alma roiv mitzvin etzel shchita mumchinin." Everyone holds that the majority of people that shecht are experts. Bais, he adds in some things over here which are going to mess things up. Well, not mess it up, but make it complex. Yeah. If it's in the house, the kuli alma lei pligi d'shari. See, the majority of people shecht are fine. So if it's in the house, you assume that this is one of the majority and everything is good. Ba'ashba, shebashuk. But let's say it's thrown into the dumpster in the marketplace. Yeah. The kuli amalei pligidasi, everyone holds that it's usher. Why is it in the dumpster? Must be he knows that it wasn't good and he threw it there because it's not. He knew that it was an avela, that he didn't shecht it properly. Ki pligi, where's the machlaikis Rabbi Yehuda and Rabbi Chanina b'nai shel Rabbi Yossi Eily? Ba'ashba shebabayis. If he finds it in the garbage in his own house. So this is different. The kids sometimes don't finish the food. They throw it in there's a lot of waste. It doesn't mean it's an avela. It could be it was good food. One of them says that it's no good. Why? Because if it was an avela, person would drop it into the garbage in his house, even though it might smell after a while. But nevertheless, it could be that it's an avela. A person would not put an avela into the garbage in his house. He would put it into the garbage into the street.
But my ask me, is this physical house or is it like the slaughterhouse?
I think his own house.
Well,
they didn't really have slaughter. Maybe did they have a slaughterhouse?
Sure. Why not?
People had.
Not every person was a sheikh. They had to go to the sheikh. There must have been a place in the market.
Right. Okay. So Rav Nachman has an answer here. For really, everyone agrees that roiv mitzvin etzel shchita are mumchin. If there's someone that shechted, he must be an expert. Why is there two opinions here? If it's kosher or not, that's because it depends where he finds it. If he finds it in the garbage, in the market, so then that's why it's no good. If he find, everyone agrees the garbage in the market, it's no good. Machlekes is the garbage in the house. Would someone put an avela in the garbage in the house or not? That's the machlekes. But not, is he considered a good sheikhet? Amar Mar, the master said, we've been saying so far that Amar Mar is always a brisa, or a mishnah, and we're going back to discuss it. Right? Mar is like the English.
So we're concluding here that
Mr. Mar. Master. Yeah.
We're concluding here that we rely on the fact that the majority of people are trusted,
right.
And therefore, if we find it, it's assumed to be good.
Yeah, unless we find it in a place that messes up that assumption. Taisus over here says, Harish Abdullah Gediyev, Taisus says, if someone lost his goats, that's what we're talking about, then he finds them shechted. Taisus says the same thing would apply that if they were stolen and he finds them shechted. He says we'll assume that they're good. Taisus says that the fact that the guy's a thief and he stole your goats and chickens doesn't mean that he's a bad sheikhet. He would, he may be a thief, but he's still
not a thief. Maybe he just found them roaming in his house.
Right, that could be. But even if you know that they were stolen, just because he's suspected on stealing doesn't mean that he's suspected on eating treif.
Like the kind that won't kill you with milk at night.
So the problem is that the Rambam argues on that. It seems to argue on that. The Rambam says that dafka avdu, The Rambam brings this case, he says if it's avdu like the he doesn't say that if it was stolen. And the medayik from the Rambam that only that if it was stolen you wouldn't have a cheskas kashas. The problem is that we have a rule that if someone's chashid on one aveira, it doesn't mean he's chashid on another aveira. So according to the Rambam, just because he stole, why do we say he's not a good shaykhid? Should be that he is a good shaykhid because of that rule. So they explain, the Bais Halevi explains this, that I have to look at this case itself. You see, the shaykhid, Rev Mitzvah Netel Shchita is because that he has the shaykhid has a cheskas kashas. Now, if I have two different scenarios, he stole one thing before, and now he's shechting over here, I say he's a good shaykhid. But if in this animal itself is the one that was stolen, and now you're trying to assume that this was also shechted, well, right in this case itself, I have a problem. The Rambam doesn't...
Because he's a mazik. He's ruining the stolen property.
Yeah, but over here, in this case, I can't apply that cheskas kashas to this animal itself. It's only in other cases I would say that. Okay, so we learned before, I'm a Rabbi, Nirin div Rabbi Yehuda shematzim ba'ashba. Rabbi says that Rabbi Yehuda, who says that it's forbidden to eat this meat, that you find shechted, it was your animals, you find them shechted, that's, when is it forbidden, when is he going to accept Rabbi Yehuda's view that says it's forbidden if you find it in the garbage? My ashba, which garbage? Eily ma ashba shebashuk. If it's the garbage in the marketplace, that was the machlekes. You see, when Rebbe says that Rabbi Yehuda is correct in this instance, that means that that's a machlekes, but he's paskening like Rabbi Yehuda in that instance. The problem is that Rebbe said that an ashba in the Rabbi didn't say this. Menachem bar Yitzchak said that if it's the garbage in the marketplace, everyone agrees that it's treif. So nirin divrei Rabbi Yehuda ba'ashba. If it's in the marketplace, then I see the view of Rabbi Yehuda. Everyone agrees that it's treif over there. Everyone agrees that it's aser. Elalav, is it not? Pshita ba'ashba shebabayis. It must be the garbage in the house. Good. He's paskening like Rabbi Yehuda that in the garbage in the house, it's going to be treif, because someone would put his nevela in the house. Ema seifa. Let's take a look at the end of the Mishnah, of the Bais. If you found it in the house, it's going to be kosher. My bias. What does it mean you found it in the house? Eily bias mamish. If you find it in the house on the dining room table. What are you saying? You're passing like Rav Chanina. Everyone agrees over there that it's mutter. Ela pshita. When you said it in the house, it's obvious that it must mean ba'ashba shebabayis, that you found it in the garbage in the house. Kasher the Rebbe ad Rebbe. I have a stira in Rebbe's own words, because he says he's going to pass like Rabbi Yehuda in the garbage. We said if it's found in the garbage, we said that's the garbage in the house. He says he's going to pass like Rabbi Chanina if it's found in the house, which we said means the garbage in the house. So now he's passing both kosher and aser. It's aser and mutter in the same place, because you're medayak from each one. Yeah. So hachi kamar. This is what Rabbi meant. Nirin divrei Rabbi Yehuda l'Rabbi Chanina b'nai shel Bais Eily l'bash b'shebashuk. It wasn't Rebbe's opinion. This was saying what Rabbi Chanina's opinion would be. He says Nirin divrei Rabbi Yehuda l'Rabbi Chanina. Rabbi Chanina would accept the words of Rabbi Yehuda if it was found in the garbage in the marketplace. Rabbi's not saying how he's paskening. He's saying how Rabbi Chanina would accept. He's saying how everyone agrees, ashba shebashuk. Because even Rabbi Chanina only argued about the garbage in the house. But in the garbage in the market, he would agree. And then he says, Nirin divrei Rabbi Chanina in the house, because he only argued about the ashba in the house. But in the house itself, even Rabbi Yehuda would agree that it's mutter. That's the chulu, it says in that section there. Okay. There was one interesting point over here. Tosfos says that from the Gemara Bava Metzia, we said that the machlekes is in the garbage in the house. What about in the marketplace, but it's not in the garbage? That was one case that we didn't mention. Tosfos says that it's clear from the Gemara in Bava Metzia in the Gemara in Eily Metzias that the same machlekes would apply. It says like this. Gemara says that if he finds his things in the marketplace, not in the garbage, in the marketplace, the Gemara says they tiru loy mishum shchuta. They allowed him to eat it al silcha shchita, right? In mishum shchuta, ki Rabbi Chanina b'nai shel Rabbi Eily.
Didn't we learn that if there was a meat floating in front of a city filled with Jews, then that meat is kosher?
Right. Right.
Find a piece of meat in the
The
marketplace.
Right.
Right.
So he says, why? It's like
Like
Rabbi
river
Yosef.
from the street. If you were out behind
No, it's
Gifties.
talking about a river floating in the river.
Interesting.
He says
In the river for meat.
that the Gemara says that why? Ki Rabbi Chanina. It says that it over there. It says why you're allowed to eat it in the marketplace because of Rabbi Chanina.
Because of this case.
Yeah, but what does that mean? That it's only Rabbi Chanina that allows it. That it's only Rabbi Chanina that allows it. Which means that there's a machlekes in the marketplace, just like we said there's a machlekes in the garbage in the house. There's also, even though the Gemara here doesn't say that, but that would be the same thing. Yeah, they have a kasha on the Rambam over here. The Rambam says in the marketplace it's asur. Okay. Chutz micher sheite v'katan shem yekalkalu eschitas, and we're going back to the Mishnah. We finished the first piece of the first section of the Mishnah. It's always like this. Yaakov, Haney, he says that always the first piece of the Gemara they always elaborate on more. So this took us 12 pages to finish the first section of the Hakal Sheichten. So now we go to the second section. Chutz micher sheite v'katan. Everyone can shecht except for a cher sheite v'katan. A deaf, mute, an imbecile, and a child. Shem yekalkalu eschitasan. Maybe they'll ruin the shchita. Now, Shem kilkalu like Tani. It's very clear that we're referring to b'diavad because the Mishnah said everyone can shech, v'shchitasan ksheira, and their shchita is good. And then it goes on. It says chutz micher sheite v'katan, not a cher sheite v'katan. Their shchita is not good. So why does it say Shem yekalkalu? Maybe they will. It should be Shema Kilkalu. Maybe they did ruin the shechita.
Which, by the way, since we did that original Mishnah, we expounded on a whole bunch of other people who are also not good.
Right. Rashi mentions that over here. So let's just see 1 second. We'll get to that. Why does it say Shema Yakalkalu? Shema Kilkalu like Tani. Ella Shema Yakalkalu. It says maybe they will ruin the shechita. It's coming to teach us in Meislem Chullin Lechatchila that you can't allow them to shecht, even chulin, even if you're going to stand there and watch them, even though the Mishnah concludes, aval acherim rayanaisan, bekulan she'acherim rayanaisan, it's going to be mutter. That's we don't do lechatchila by a cher sheite v'katan because they may mess it up. Okay, let's go further. Anyone that shecht and other people watch them, their shchita is good. Man Tana, who's the one that holds the loy ba'inan kavana l'shchita? That says that you don't need kavana. You see, we have an assumption over here that we're referring to the cher sheite v'katan. All of these people that shechted, if other people are watching them, we say it's good. Achirim oimdim al gaba, or achirim royim oisam. There's others that we're watching, so we say that that's good, and we say that we're referring to the cher sheite v'katan. A cher sheite v'katan don't have kavana. Sheite is for sure doesn't have kavana for the shechita. We're talking about that. Maybe he doesn't have kavana even that he's shechting. Maybe he just thinks he's just playing with a knife, cutting meat.
What about a cherish? What's wrong with a cherish?
It's assumed that if he never heard and he never spoke, someone that never heard and never spoke, that also he doesn't have the same thinking abilities. How was he able to learn? How was he able to... He had no communication at all with the outside. So
everybody says you need shechita.
Yeah, so
who's Tana who says no?
Who's the one that holds that the loy ba'inan kavana l'shchita? So Rashi points out, he says 1 second. The kulan sheshachtu achim rayinos and shchitas and ksheira. The Gemara the whole time at the beginning of the Masechta kept telling me you can't say that this is talking about a cher sheite v'katan because why does it say v'kulan? It should have said im shachtu v'achirim rayinos, right? Why does it say v'kulam? So Rashi says over here, Rashi says that we never had a question if we're referring to a cherushet of a cotton shechting. We're referring to them. We wanted to say that it's referring to more than them, not just them. We always needed to add in an extra group of people to say v'kulam and all of them. Yeah, you follow that point? We're going back to Amarava Rab Nasani. Rava says that it's Rab Nasan that holds that you don't need kavanah. The Tani Oishia Zeira de Min Chavraya. Oishia Zeira, the small one, the Min Chavraya. The Min Chavraya has two. The Min Chavraya either means Rashi says he's one of the Bnei Yeshiva. He's one of the Chavra. Tosfos says that it's the name of a place. The Min Chavraya comes from Chavraya. What does Zeira mean? He's small. Zeira means he's small. Either that or he's humble. Shmuel HaKatan. Okay, he says the following: Zorak sakin l'nayitza b'kaisel. If someone throws a knife, they had these darts and the things they would like, not darts, what are these stars, like these ninja type things? They would get them stuck in the wall. They used to do this in camp. The kids would have it. They were illegal. They would try to get the knife stuck in the wall, and there was like a wooden wall it would get stuck in. So if someone throws a knife to get it stuck in the wall, while it's going, it shechted. A bird flew by, so oh my gosh, shechted right as it's flying. So you're allowed to eat from that? Reb Nasan machshav chacham paisan. Reb Nasan says it's kosher, and the chacham say that it's puzzle.
Is this in the Bais Hamikdash or just the general?
No, it can't be in the Bais Hamikdash. It's impossible because.
So in general, shechita needs machshava.
Yeah, that's what we're discussing here.
Maybe the guy who threw it with the idea that he'd be shachet something if it went through.
And tell me again.
Maybe he had the machshava that when he threw this knife, that shema of bird would come through, it would be shechted.
So I have on the side, I have a little note. They quote from the Chacham Tzvi, Siman Aleph, that when we say kavanah l'shchita, it doesn't mean that you have to have kavanah that you're doing a mitzvah, like because you say a bracha on the shchita. That's not what we're referring to. We're referring to just kavanah that you're shechting, not kavanah, not that I'm just playing with a knife. It doesn't mean kavanah a mitzvah. It means that you intend to shech. It just means that you intend to shech. The problem is, it has to do with, if you don't have any kavanah, then do you really put your mind to it that you did it correctly? What are you going to do? You're going to think back and say, oh my gosh, wasn't sure, I wasn't doras, I wasn't this. You're going to think back. You have to have intention while you're doing it, to be careful.
It's also okay.
If achirim rayanai son, if it's referring to kuti, oh no, we had a problem over there. According to, if there's no need for kavanah, then it could be that you're right. Unless it makes it worse, right? Kusi we said was allowed.
Them, yeah.
The problem is, we said in the beginning of the Gemara, all these people that we're not allowed to, right?
The people who shoot guns at ducks to kill them for food, they have kavanah to eat.
Yeah, hold on to that question.
Okay.
Now, who tani lava who amrla? He taught this, and he also says that halacha kirab nasan. Rav is saying this. The Tani Oishia Demin Zeira. Maybe it's Oishia. Rabbi Oishia is saying this halacha. Rabbi Oishia is saying that the halacha is like Rab Nasan as well, that it's kosher. The Gemara asks, Vabin Meilach Mevi. That's not how you shech. When you shech, you have to go forward and backward. Here, you can't throw it.
You have to go
that.
both ways?
You have to go both ways. You have to do both motions. So the Gemara answers shahalchu v'kedarka, that it went back. Why? Because while it was hitting the wall, it bounced back and it shechted him the other way.
Isn't there a Tana who was able to shoot a deer?
Yeah, that's where the Gemara is going to have this.
Okay.
You like that, huh?
Well, I don't know how the arrow came back.
Tumble salt.
I don't know. It sounds very questionable.
Okay. The next piece of Gemara is going to take us over to. Let's stop by Amar Abchia Barab. So we'll stop right here, right before the.
We have another half.